Malolei ko kingoa ko teina Fameitau, ko ku tamau kulen mai me kolonga, ko ku whae kulen mai me lapa.
Malolelei, kia orana, ko hoku hingoa ko Meliano and Fameitau, ko ku hau me kolonga mo lapaha. And from the Cook Islands, we lived in Titikaveka, and I think we originate from Mangaia.
So me and my siblings and my parents, we migrated from Cook Islands. All the older ones were all born in Tonga, and I was the only one that was born in the Cook Islands. So we migrated from the Cooks.
I think this is probably an experience that anybody that moves from the islands to New Zealand or Australia, we probably all go through. And that's going from family to family to family. And I think we moved about 4 or 5 times. Papatoetoe, Manukau, Arahuhu. Yeah, we were just moving around the South Auckland, and then my dad decided to come to Hawke's Bay.
Dad had a Cook Island friend called Tuku. He worked in the orchards. He told my father to come over and work. And back then, you know, that's all Dad and Mum knew, was working in the plantation and stuff. And he moved over in the early 90s. I came over my first year of college, so year 9. I had grown up with my grandparents for quite a while. And when I moved over to the Bay and started at Hastings Boys, there was like not even much of us. There are a lot of Samoans at Hastings Boys and probably Cook Islanders, and then probably only about 4 or 5 Tongans. It was a big cultural shock.
We're actually one of the first Tongans. I think there was like 3 or 4 other families spread out through Hastings. In my school, I was the only Tongan. And around Flaxmere, I was the only Tongan. So growing up around majority Māoris in Flaxmere, it was hard. Bullying and stuff like that. But one thing I never did was I never backed down from things, and this is something I've learned from a little age. So I was always protective of my siblings, even though my sisters were older than me. This is something I've always had. That's probably one of the challenges, as well as learning. Speaking English, I was still struggling, but as well as struggling in the English, I was also losing my native tongue. I was losing my language. I never did any Tongan groups, but I've always done Cook Island groups, and that's because dance in Cook Island is something we've always learned, and that's something I held on to because it always brought back memories.
And yeah, I think it was 2009. I went over to Tonga with my dad, and you know, we were visiting family and everything, and I knew we were only there for a week. Dad took me to Church College over in Tonga, and he was just showing me around, and when we were there, he told me, oh, come and try this uniform on. And then I thought, wait, what do you mean try uniform on? Then he enrolled me. So he told me that I needed to stay in Tonga. And man, I was like scared. Like I was like, nah, you know, I'll change. I told him, I said, no, I promise I won't be naughty anymore. I'll go back and be good. But nah, Dad was like, nah, Tonga will be good for you. So I literally stayed in the village in Tonga for a whole year. To be honest, that was probably one of my best years. I learned my culture. I learned how humble the people were there. You didn't have to have much to be happy. Tonga helped me grow up heaps. Being out in the plantation with some of the family, selling apples there for Mum and Dad's businesses. Yeah, just seeing how happy the people were.
You know, we try and speak a little bit of Tongan to our kids, and because my wife is Māori, she tries the same as well. And something that we'll try to do with school, the same thing that I did with the cultural groups, is we try and get them to join these groups to hopefully hold on to something within their culture. And that's like joining Pasifika and Māori culture, and But apart from home, letting them know who their grandparents are and their great-grandparents and where they're actually from.
Just having them know that they're Tongan and Samoan, know what their villages are, know where they're from, and what their ancestors did or what their grandparents did to come over here for us to have a better life.